God, tender, loving care. Welcome everyone to today's stream. I am God TLC of God, Tender, Loving Care. And without further ado, make sure you subscribe and like this stream, this channel. We are well underway with the podcasts. Dun, 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 dun. As you all know, we present to you different topics, different themes, what's going on around the world, with a focus on tech facts that'll blow your mind to make you wealth. Our personal goal this week, let's reach 1000K subscribers. We are currently live, but if you are to reach this stream afterward, leave a comment. If you're joining live with me right now, make sure that you are participating in the chat. I definitely want to hear all your perspectives. We are tech that builds wealth, real facts, real future. Well, everyone, we've had a lot of fun and we've uncovered so many technology facts and questions and matters that are currently going on. Why does any of this matter? Now, if this is your first time joining, don't worry. I have given you so much already with the title of the podcast, and I want you to let that simmer, chew on it. If you are joining, rejoining, this isn't your first time here, you already know what we are well underway on. We're working on understanding this untamable fire, yet us humans are so enthralled in taming it. It's this fire, the technology that we are currently all experiencing. And I myself am very fascinated with this journey. And I hope that you are as well, whether you're on this side and not necessarily for technology or understand technology, or if you're enthusiastic as me on technology, and whichever position you find yourself in, just know that we're at the meeting table, and this podcast, this stream, this session is a testament. So without further ado, everyone, I'm very excited to move on to the topic at hand. We're going to learn so much. Eureka moments, epiphanies, all wrapped up together in a really great conversation. So the technology that you don't see, but it's making billions. Can some of you guess what that is in the chat? If you're joining, like I said, after this has been published, type it in the comments. Billions and trillions. Now I said billions because conservatively speaking, very conservative. Billions, possibly trillions. APIs, we'll define that. Edge AI and quantum. Those are just some of the topics that we're going to cover today. So what's up? What are you joining on today? Let me know in the comment. Are you joining on a computer, Chromebook, tablet, Amazon Fire, MacBook Pro, Linux, PC, something else, digital watch, right? What are you joining on today? Let me know. Make sure you subscribe and like. You're locked in with tech that builds wealth. Real facts, real future. I'm God TLC. I've got Tender Loving Care. Streaming live with a tech breakdown you didn't know you needed, but absolutely do. Now, today we're going into the invisible tech, the tools and systems working behind the scenes of everything from your smartphone to billion-dollar platforms, or maybe even trillions or quadrillions. This stuff doesn't always get the headlines, but it runs the show. Wow. It's like being a silent investor, like making wealth, having the wealth, but not necessarily the fame. Now, that is true wealth, right? You have your autonomy, your independence, yet you're still racking up the money. Cheddar makes it better. And it's never too soon to remind you all. Make sure you are wearing something comfortable. Sit back and relax. Turn the lever on. Grab your most favorite drink, some hot tea, some coffee, some sparkling water, purified water, and let's go on this journey. Right away, I will share with you something that I have here on one of my tabs. What is Edge AI? And I mentioned that earlier today, yeah? The role of APIs in quantum computing. Well, if we were to do a Google search, and I know this has been part of our one of our previous streams, do you use AI or Google? Today we're using Google. Um, and we've used Google for such a long time. So many platforms, but Google's been very reliable. The blurb is that first with Edge AI. Edge AI refers to the deployment of AI models directly on local edge devices to enable real-time data processing and analysis without reliance on cloud technology. So we take the term edge AI and it's connected to AI models, enabling real-time, now in the present, data processing and analysis. Just let that simmer. Now we're going to transition to the role of APIs in quantum computing. So these terms are being thrown around, but we definitely know that there's a connection. APIs offer a user-friendly interface as interpreters. Remember, AI stands for artificial intelligence, but AI are language models. So when we consider API and its relationship to AIs, remember, user-friendly interface as interpreters, interpreting information or data. What else? Allowing developers to interact with quantum computers without needing a deep understanding of the hardware the processes. So very accessible. And there are so many resources. But just know that this is just a quick blurb. Finally, we will venture into and consider the connective tissue of the internet, which is APIs. So when we define connective tissue, and that being of the internet, let's start with APIs, which are known as short for short application programming interface. So instead of saying that big long word, we just shorten it to APIs, application programming interface. Application programming interface. Basically, it's how software systems talk to each other. You've used an API today and didn't even know it. Logged in with Google, Facebook, any of those? API. Ordered food, tracked a package, sent a text from a web app. That's an API at work. Everyone, what is API? Drop it in the chat, in the comments. I don't want to rush any of you. API is application programming interface. Why does it matter? Understanding APIs is like understanding electricity. You don't have to build it. You just need to know how to plug it in. Isn't that assuring? So you don't have to understand it all, deep dive, but get a general gist of it and explore it. It's like swimming. First you put your feet in, and maybe you start to wade in the water. Then maybe you start to float. Then maybe you start to kick your feet. And eventually, with hard work and consistency, you swim. And if you're feeling like you're sinking, keep going at it safely, always one step at a time. Don't worry. I'm not asking you to, jump out of a helicopter into Crash Boat Beach, Puerto Rico, one of the toughest beaches out there. Let me tell you that from personal experience. But we're taking baby steps. First, wading in the water. We can still feel the rocks on our feet. Technology is the same way. Take your notes, sticky notes, screenshots. Take your time. Chew the information. So part two, right? That was API. What does it stand for? Application Programming Interface. Next up is Edge AI, which we've covered a little bit, right? We always hear about cloud computing. Cloud computing will stick with you. It stuck with me. Not as quickly as APIs, right? Application Programming Interfaces, but when you hear cloud computing, cloud, think of maybe the cloud in the sky. And then computing. on a computer. But edge computing is about making devices smarter where they are, not in a server farm across the world, where they are. Think self-driving cars, wearable health devices, smart factories. They need decisions made in milliseconds. That is edge AI. Why does it matter? This creates real opportunity, new jobs, new startups, new industries, products that think in real time. It's not just about smart homes, it's about smart everything. And a recent example is I was a part of a recent live stream all the way across from where I live, like far, close enough where, given a good year financially, we could probably take a road trip, and but far where I can't necessarily access it right away. And I started to see on this live stream the usage of robots, smart robots for deliveries. Those robots are crossing the street, delivering food from A to B and C back, and they need to make real smart decisions. Hey, that's a red light. We stop right here, along with the pedestrians. Then we cross the street, then we cross the road. That is one awesome example that I recently came about that I just wanted to share with you. And if you have any, feel free to share. Now, quantum tech. Is it future hype or future fact? What is it? Well, let's zoom out. Quantum computing, it's not science fiction anymore. This is technology that can process millions of possibilities at once. Thanks to quantum bits, we're taking future encryption, drug discovery, climate modeling, and even AI training levels we cannot reach today. Why does it matter? Well, in the early days, it's early days. IBM, Google, startups like Rigidity were already trying to make it happen, right? It was inspired by science fiction. And now we're learning the basics of it. So the idea came forth, right? And now it's creating the idea, actualizing it, creating it in live time. This mythical, what was once scientific form of technology is now becoming real. That's investing in long-term knowledge, wealth. You don't have to be a quantum physicist or a senior engineer, but you do need to understand the shift. There is a paradigm shift, what we can call evolution, right? In one of our other streams, we mentioned that technology is evolution. When you're defining evolution, technology is a really great example. Whether you're in education, entrepreneurship, or just curious, this is the literacy of tomorrow. So while we study this today, we definitely have it in our minds that we may not fully actualize it ever, but we're taking baby steps toward creating it bit by bit. Understanding APIs. Again, what is APIs, everyone? Drop it in the comments or the chat. Application programming interface, edge computing, and quantum concepts puts you ahead of the curve instead of trying to catch up. It shows you're not just using technology, you understand it. Which, going back to technology being just like a fire, not just about using the fire, right, to make the food, to keep us warm, but about understanding it. And even nowadays, we're still trying to understand fires, right? Any pyromaniacs out there, anyone into pyrotechnology, right? Electricity is a form of fire. We're still understanding it. We still study the sun, big ball of fire. Same with technology. Let's say that technology is an all-encompassing term, but it is the micro of the sun, right? The sun being macro, technology being a micro component. And there are many, many similarities in that passage. When we think about our ancestors and discovering fire, wow, what is this? How do we use it? How do we hone it? We can't control it, but we could try to guide it. Same with technology. So if you've been with me, thank you for tuning in to Technology That Builds Wealth. Today we covered the systems behind the systems and how to spot the wealth behind the wires. Now, you can understand some of these topics theoretically and try to apply them in your day to day. I do definitely suggest that if you have any good reads in technology or anything that I've covered today, you share it. This is also a great resource. Share this stream, this session with anyone you think might be interested in delving deeper into technology. Right, we're keeping focus. Sometimes we do delineate a little bit and we bring it right back. If any of you would like to collaborate, some of you are very good experts in your field. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm very accessible, and I would love to have you on the channel or a call, collaborate in some way, form, or another. I'm God TLC, and we're studying everything technology from education technology, information technology, health technology. But I'm also a believer in building wealth. So if we can take these various different topics and subjects and merge them together, that is the goal for building a smarter, wealthier future. One stream at a time. Make sure to hit the subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me, what technology would you like me to break down next? Anything, everything. Bigger the list, the more I'll rate it, and I will do my best to respond. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We did it! Yeah! See you later.